Okay, question 11, Unit 2, January 2020, IEL paper. So, a stationary wave is generated on a stretched string. Mass is attached to one end. The string is passing over a pulley, and the other end is connected to an electrical vibrator. The length of the string is given L, right? So the first part, determine the wavelength of the waves on the string when vibrating as shown. So there are traveling waves generated by the electrical vibrator that goes and reflect back, that forms the stationary wave. So there are four loops are there. So the length of one loop is lambda by 2. Node, here also node. So distance between adjacent node is lambda by 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Four loops are there. One loop is lambda by 2. So the question is, find the wavelength of the wave, means wavelength of the traveling wave. So I can say 4 into lambda by 2 is equal to L. L is given 1.70 meter. So you can find the lambda. So lambda will be 0.85 meter. B part, mass is given. The mass attached mass is 0.20 kilogram, and the mass per unit length of the string is also given. That is 4.5 10 to the power minus 3 kilogram per meter. So the question is, find the speed of the transverse wave or speed of the wave. That means there are two identical oppositely traveling waves, they overlap and the stationary wave is formed. So they ask me to find the speed of one of the traveling waves. So equation for transverse wave on a stretched string, V equals square root of T over mu, where T is the tension, that is the weight of the attached mass. So substitute the values. T, I can say mg, mass is 0.20 into 9.81 divided by mass per unit length 4.5 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, if you solve, you will get 20.9 meter per second. Okay, question number 11, C part. The frequency of the vibration generator is reduced until the wave pattern shown below produces. You can see that in the previous part there were 4 loops were there. Now there are only 2 loops, but there is no change in the length of the string. The same string, same length. So what happens when you reduce the frequency? This is lambda by 2, lambda by 2. So 2 times lambda by 2 is equal to L. So lambda will become L. So you know that earlier we got lambda is equal, that is 4 times lambda by 2 equal to L, the previous part, A part. So lambda will be L by 2. Now the length is not changing, so the wavelength has increased. But the question is, what will happen to the speed when the frequency is reduced? That's the C part. So you can say the speed is given by speed of the transverse wave. There are two identical opposite traveling waves. They ask about that speed. Stationary wave has no speed, that is 0. So speed of one of the traveling wave they are asking. So speed V equals square root of T over mu. There's no change in tension, no change in mass per unit length. So there's no change in speed. First you should say it's a 2-mark question. First you should say the speed is given by square root of T over mu. Since there's no change in both T and mu, the speed will not change. But what will happen when you reduce the frequency? The wavelength will increase. So 2 marks. 1 mark was saying no change in speed because no change in T and mu. But when the frequency is reduced, the wavelength of the traveling wave, will increase. Earlier it was lambda by 2, part A, lambda equal L by 2. Now lambda equal L. So that means this wavelength is larger than the previous wavelength. Okay, question 12 is about intensity, but it's slightly different way they're asking. The data given they are saying that generation of electricity, the total generation of electricity in 2014 worldwide is 23,800 terawatts hour. Tera means 10 to the power 12. Watts hour, W is unit of power, H is unit of time, but it's not a base unit, but hour. You know, when you multiply watts by hour, that shows how much of energy is used during 1 hour, because power is multiplied by time, that will be energy, right? So watts hour is unit of energy. So that's the total energy generated, electrical energy generated in 2014 worldwide is this amount, and 1 terawatts hour is given 3.6 10 to the power 15 joules. Okay, now in that question they are saying the intensity of solar radiation on the surface of Earth is 1100 watts per meter square. That's the intensity. You know, intensity power over area, is it? So that is 1100 watts per meter square, and the total area of Sahara Desert is 9.2 10 to the power 12 meters square. The question is, calculate the maximum energy received by the solar panel in 1 hour. So they are thinking of placing solar panels in Sahara Desert. So if they put solar panels in Sahara Desert, how much of energy will be received during 1 hour, right? So how much of solar energy will be received by the panels during 1 hour? That's the question, first part. So we know that intensity equal to power over area. Intensity is given 1100, so I can find the power over area 9.2 10 to the power 12. So from this, if I find the power, that will be 1.012 10 to the power 60 watts. But the question is, find the total energy received in Sahara Desert, the total area, during 1 hour. So energy is equal to power into time. So power we know 1.012 times 10 to the power 16 into time during 1 hour. So 1 into 60 minutes into 60 seconds, joules. So if we solve, we'll get 3.64 10 to the power 19 joules of solar energy will be received in Sahara Desert during 1 hour. Okay, so second part, second part. Determine whether converting the Sahara Desert with solar panels would be able to generate enough electricity for the whole world. Okay, so we calculated in the previous part, during 1 hour, how much of solar energy, the amount of solar energy received by the panels in in Sahara Desert. We calculated it as 3.64 10 to the power 19 joules. We calculated in the previous part. Okay, so what is the total energy generated during 2014? We'll find it in joules. So I can say total energy in 2014. How much is it? It's given 23,800 terawatts hour. 1 terawatts hour we know in joules, so 3.6 10 to the power 15. So that will be 8.6 10 to the power 19 joules. So this is the total amount of energy generated in 2014 worldwide. But we know how much of energy is received in Sahara Desert during 1 hour. So that is energy received in Sahara Desert during 1 hour, that we found in the previous part. So 3.64 10 to the power 19 joules. Okay, so how long we need to generate this amount of energy? So the time required to generate this amount of energy, so we divide this by this, 8.6 10 to the power 19 divided by 3.64 10 to the power 19 is almost 2.4 hours. So that means during 2.4 hours, we can generate the total amount of energy generated during 2014. Okay, now B part. Sandstorms are common in Sahara Desert. Explain why sandstorms reduce the power generated by the solar panels. So it's a 2-mark question. So we can simply say when there is sandstorms, they can form dust, is it? So the intensity of the light falling on the solar panels will decrease. So we know that if the intensity of the solar radiation falling on the panels decreases, means the intensity is given by I equal n times hf, where hf is the amount of that's the energy of a photon, n is the number of photons passing through unit area per second. So when the intensity decreases, number of photons falling on the solar panel, unit area of the solar panel per unit time is going to reduce, is it? So when intensity decreases, n will decrease. N means number of photons falling on the solar panel per unit area during unit time. So one photon removes only one electron. So the number of electrons removed per second will decrease. That is, current flow will decrease. Okay, so that's the answer for the B part.